Good morning, Morgan, and good morning to any of your friends that are happening to watch these video with you today. Uh, in this video and the next two videos after this, we're going to be talking about lists. And lists are similar to the data sets in that you can store data in them, except that it's a list. You can have more than one thing in it. Okay, like for instance here, we're storing 5 different numbers in a list, whereas in the data sets that we were looking at the other day, you can only store one number in that integer file. And of course, a list doesn't have to be a number. It can also be a string or any of that stuff, and we're going to learn all about that as we go through these videos. And here are some examples that I've set up for you today. We're going to show you how to create a list, how to step through the list using an index so you can get the number that you want. Okay, how do you get the data back, and then we're also going to show you how you can add information to your list. Okay, all right. And with that, we're going to go off and do some reading now. So let's go. All right, time for the boring part. Let's see what the manual has to say about these lists.
Python knows a number of compound data types, used to group together other values. The most versatile is the list, which can be written as a list of comma-separated values, items, between square brackets. Lists might contain items of different types, but usually the items all have the same type.
All right, so that's interesting. It talks about the types, and it says that they're usually the same type, which indicates to me that later on we might find out that we can store different types of data in lists. It doesn't have to all be numbers, which is news to me. And here's how we do it, and we'll see that again, and this is the output that we're supposed to get. Shall we continue?
Like strings, and all other built-in sequence types, lists can be indexed and sliced. Print squares 0 hashtag indexing returns the item.
All right. Okay. So, you would think that when you step through the list, you'd go one, what's the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, or the fifth one. But here they get kludgy. Okay? Instead of starting with a 1, they start with a 0. Okay, and it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, just to make things more difficult, they want to go backwards through the list with this -1 and a -3. And that's why I added some extra examples in the code we're going to look at today, so you can get a better feel for what they're trying to tell us here. Okay, now let's talk about how you can slice and dice these lists.
All slice operations return a new list containing the requested elements. This means that the following slice returns a shallow copy of the list. Print squares smiley face.
Okay, so here's how you print the whole contents of the list. And then here, let's see how it talks about adding stuff, or they call it concatenation, when you add things or to the end.
Lists also support operations like concatenation. Print squares plus.
All right, now, like I said, there's going to be 3 videos in this because I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes because I know you little ones have very short attention spans. But the reading part is done. Now let's go play with the code, because that's how I learn best, is by playing with the code, and I'm thinking that maybe you'll feel the same way. And we're back to the code. But before I run the code, let's walk through it. Here, I'm creating a list like they did in the in the manual. And I printed a little differently. When I tried to actually have the list embedded in the print function, it didn't want to work. It forced me to put it into this variable name first. And that's what I did. And here's what we should expect when we go to run the code. We should see output like that. Example 2, this is how you step through the list. And I've even got the little backwards part here. Okay? And then it talks about slicing, which is, I think, is like where you can take more than one value and print it. We're about to find that out right now. And then in the last example is right out of the book, how you concatenate or add more items to the end of the list. Okay. And with that, let's run the code. And hopefully it won't blow up. Dun, 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 dun. And it looks like it worked, but of course you can't see that. But I'm getting ready to fix that. So let's go look at the output. And here's our output. Now, I can't show you the actual output because for some reason I can't show you the output and show you the code at the same time. So I've cut and pasted it all into a Word document so that we can better follow along to understand what happened. So let's go to example 1. Here we created our list squares. Then we printed the squares, and sure enough, it came out just as we expected. Now let's go to the indexes. Okay, so here we have the indexes where we're stepping through it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you can see, we're going right through the list. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. By the way, these are prime numbers. No, these are squares. I'm sorry. Excuse me, it's early in the morning. And then to show you how kludgy these reverse indexes are, let's take a look. So, all right, so it goes -1, so I guess we're starting from the back. And you see it's the last number, and then -5 gives us the 1. So apparently a -5 or a 0, you get the same number. Why they do it, there must be a reason. I don't know what the reason is. Okay, now let's talk about this slicing. Okay, they use the numbers here, right? So in the example, -3 was the 9. So I guess when you go -3, it starts there and then takes everything towards the end of the list. And you see that with -4, -5, it takes everything. So if we had started with -1, we would have just got the 25. All right, and then here we do the same thing, but with not negative indexes. Here we start with 0 and we take everything. Start at 1, boom. We start, and with 2 we go 9, 16, 25. So with a 2 or a -3, you get the same thing. Okay, all right. I know it's weird. And then here, using this, I think what we're doing is we're making a copy. I don't know why you would need a copy, but there you go. All right, now let's go to the last example where we're appending things. And here we go. We've taken the list, which is 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, and then we just simply add 5 more items to the end of the list. Now our list is 10 long. Okay? And that'll be it for today's video. In the next videos, we're going to do some manipulation. We're going to change some numbers. We're going to remove some numbers, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's go back to the code, and we'll close this out. All right. Well, that'll do it for today. But before I log off, I'm going to go and just walk through the code here in case you want to copy it and run it yourself. Here's the first example. Here's the beginning of the second example. Let's go down and see the rest of it. There's the rest of it. Sorry about that. And then here's the very end. All right. And with that, we'll complete this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy your afternoon, sunshine. Bye.